Welcome back to another episode of Spin That Wax. We got Zach and Maiden's World down there to give us, and me, Tim, to help us out on this wonderful Saturday afternoon.
Yes, good morning, fellas. Good evening, good afternoon. Guten Tag.
My tongue will work, my mouth will work eventually. It's getting there. But anyways, thank you. We are looking at classic rock albums, and we each get one. And then we all have a surprise album that we pick a rando grab, and we'll see what everybody has today. And I guess I'll go first today. Go and switch it up a little bit and see what I brought. I'm kind of excited to see what everybody else brought. I am very curious. So I will turn this around really quick. And
here we go.
Voila. Here we go.
Ooh, let's
today,
go.
We got Janis Joplin, Pearl. And this is her final solo studio album. And it was released in January 11th, 1971 by Columbia Records. And it was released 3 months after her death of October 4th, 1970. And it is her album the final album recorded with the full Tilt Boogie Band. So that's fantastic. I listened to this earlier and I forgot how good it was. This is a great album, and I recommend it to anybody that hasn't heard it. It's got a lot of it's not just classic rock. It's got a lot of different genres in the built into the album. She's wide range for sure. Some bluesy, some like amazing. Gospel soundy, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was a great singer. And part of that infamous 21 Club.
Yes.
Unfortunately. Now, did either one of you ever watch the DVD, The Festival Express from 1970?
Did not.
It was a train that left Toronto going west, or vice versa, Vancouver to Toronto. And there was a bunch of bands like Janis Joplin, the Grateful Dead, the band. And they videotaped this, and they were going through all these little towns on the train and playing music and just jamming. And it's a really cool view of Janis Joplin, sort of behind the scenes, right? Hanging out with her friends. I recommend it to anybody that'd like to see it. So it's called The Festival Express.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Look it up, yeah.
You know it's a good band when you've got a strictly tambourine player.
Correct.
Crouch.
Because the Full Tilt
Jim.
The Full Tilt Boogie Band was actually her last band, which morphed from the Big Brother and Holding Company band that backed her up before. So there's some people that came from that band, and then that was really sort of her band. You know, her backing band, whereas Big Brother was her and Big Brother. They were all one. Do you follow what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah,
Full Tilt, she was in the front, they were in the back. With Big Brother, they were all together as one unit, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard to find a good, like, my favorite song on this. But, yeah, it's really hard to find my favorite on here. Of course, there's Me and Bobby McGee. That's the most popular one out of here, I think. Crybaby is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And of course, there's that Mercedes-Benz little ditty.
Mama's gonna buy you Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
But you know, busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting on a train. Yeah.
But yeah,
you know, Chris Christopherson just passed here not long ago, which is too bad because he was awesome as well.
Yes, he was.
I liked it.
And they were great friends. And actually, Chris Christopherson are you ready for this? Landed a helicopter in Johnny Cash's backyard with a demo tape and said, "You really need to listen to my music. I'm a big fan."
That's
Can you imagine the brass cojones it takes to do something like that?
I believe that would be the definition of testicular fortitude.
Correct. Right? Johnny Cash was blown away. He's like, "This is my guy."
Right. At that point, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
amazing, eh?
But there it is. There's my pick for this week.
That's a
Janis
cool looking
pick.
cover.
Pearl.
Now, is it the Columbia pressing, Tim? Is it the yellow label or the red label with the yellow print? No. Oh, it's the RCA Victor. Nice.
Ooh.
Let's go with the little dog, the doggo. Now,
The doggy.
I can't remember the name of the dog. 1 second, I'll look it up. There's two, right? The dog and then the kid. The name. 1 sec.
Oh God, yeah. I cannot remember the
Nipper.
dog's name now that you said.
The dog's name was Nipper.
Oh,
and
okay.
Nipper,
and the puppy was named Chipper. Nipper and Chipper. That's right. But yeah, that was the RCA logo. That's so cool. I'm really glad you showed that. That's a really good one. I love it.
Yeah, I like this one. Really good. This is one of Kachina's favorites. She likes Janis Joplin quite a bit.
I grew up there. Like I was at the house all the time. Played all the time, sir.
And what a talent she was.
Yes.
And actually, I just showed her on my channel here not long ago myself.
See?
Nice.
There you go. Full circle coming around.
Right.
Absolutely. Trying to find the tape, which is what I keep looking back for, and I can't seem to find where I put it. But it was the summertime cassette.
Ah, okay.
With her on the motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's greatest hits, and that's right here. Summertime.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, she was awesome, man. But
That's
out of
like
the
iconic picture,
dude, they Cry Baby, like Bobby McGee. Like, there's so many great songs on that record. That's a powerhouse pick, Tim. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to follow.
Well,
but
speaking of that, who's next? Hey, there you go.
Since I'm here, I might as well, right?
Say, that's going to be a tough one to follow. Now to follow it.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to try. So right here, we have a very, very tricky and difficult thing to find, which is the Deep Purple live 1970 Speed Kings bootleg. And this, I believe, was from the Stockholm show, which was later reissued by the band. But this is a 70s era bootleg, which featured the Mark II lineup of Deep Purple, which was Richie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, John Lordney, and Pace. And there's only 4 tracks on this bootleg. And I'll show you them here, if you can see. So Speed King, Ring That Neck, Child in Time, and Mandrake Root.
Huh.
Okay. Now, this was widely touted as probably the best live recording of the era, featuring Mandrake Root and Child in Time. It takes up the entire second side. Although I'm not sure which side the second side actually is. So as you can see, it's unlabeled. But this was the era where you threw this on, right? And just let it play through. Listen to the whole thing. But this was recorded during the In Rock years. So we all remember the famous Mount Rushmore album with Deep Purple called In Rock. Well, they did 50 shows in the UK the first half of 70, and then they did another 18 or 19 shows across Europe. And this was one I think they recorded out of Stockholm, which is later reissued. But that's my pick, sir.
Nice. Good.
Classic rock.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. So shout out to Deep Purple. They rule.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
And in case anybody who doesn't know Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water. There you go. Now you know exactly who Deep Purple is.
Right?
Yeah.
Just had to throw that in there.
Absolutely. And that was the famous lineup, the Mark II lineup, which was Blackmore, Pace, Lord, Gillan.
Nice. All right,
Yeah.
Zach. I
Plus
guess you're next. Huh?
I guess it's me. Now my pick, I was going through and I was like, my God, the sleeve of this she be janky, but we're going Queen, we're going News of the World, and you can see this thing is beat to Tarnation and back.
But
Nice,
well loved.
But well loved. I actually got this in a mystery $5 thing of
That's right,
albums.
you
But
did.
the weird thing is, it's like this. But why does it open like that? I don't get that it opens that way. And to pull the record out, the cover would look like this. I don't understand. Let's see what we got. We got the track listing, the lyrics.
Oh yeah, nice liner notes there.
Yep. And then there we go with the label.
Oh yeah, that's an original too. That's an original one.
Yep.
Because
It
it's got
is.
the
And the record's
Queen label.
And the disc is
Nice.
in great shape. So
Love
it's just the sleeve that I would need to replace. Because the disc is in real nice shape. Plus, I would venture to say Freddie Mercury, probably one of the greatest vocalists ever.
Burn
Just
on.
with raw talent.
Burn on. Easily bet one of the best frontmen of rock and roll of that time.
And something, this is just me being weird, but I always like it when you can instantly identify a singer. Like as soon as they open their mouth, you know exactly who it is.
right? Yeah.
And there was never any confusion for Freddie Mercury.
Now, the day Freddie Mercury passed away in 1991, November, was the same day that Eric Carr from Kiss passed away as well. They both died on the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real sad day for music.
I was going to say that's a bad day for music.
It really was, But he was sick when they played at Wembley in '85. That live show that they did, like he was really like not good. He was not in a good place, and he still did it. Says a lot about the guy, man. It says a lot about his character, and
Oh, yeah.
And people talk about Brian May and making his own guitar, and Brian May this, Brian May that. No, man, Freddie Mercury. Queen would have been nothing without Freddie Mercury.
Oh, it would never have lasted.
No.
Because yes, the band notwithstanding, but you really have to think of it. Freddie Mercury was Queen.
Yes, absolutely.
It just is what it is. What it was.
I like that one, and I like Night at the Races. I like the classics compilation from Queen because that had all of the my ex old lady. She was big into Queen, a huge Queen fan. So I ended up kind of by proxy getting into them. I really wasn't into them at the start. During their time, I really wasn't. I didn't care for all of the admiration that Brian May had gotten because I didn't think he was like the end all and be all of British rock guitarists. But people kept saying like he was the aficionado, the best of the best. I'm like, hey man, hold on. Like Jimmy Page is also a British guitar guy. Like, can we just?
There are a lot of other guitar players from the UK.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Eric Clapton. Like, come on, man. It doesn't end. George Harrison. Like, are you saying that Brian May is in this level with George Harrison and Eric Clapton and stuff? Okay, sure. I'll grant you that. I'll buy into that. Is he the best?
Well, that's the thing. You could put him on level, but above them, that's a tall ask.
It is a tall ask, man. Like, come on, dude. There's so many other greats out there. And
not taking anything away from him, just saying he's not the end all be all.
Correct. I guess that's and that whole thing back, and this is right around Wayne's World time, because Bohemian Rhapsody and everything got big, and then they became more relevant again, right? And everybody's like, he's so great, and I was like, I was completely turned off by them at that point. I was like, I'm done. I can't. No, sorry. I'll stick to my old English British bands and stick to like the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and all those, right? Because man, like Keith Richards, like what kind of world am I going to leave Keith Richards when my kids leave it to him? Like he's going to outlive us all. It's Keith Richards, man.
Yeah.
He's a living legend. You can't say that Brian May is better than Keith Richards. Are you insane? So here's a funny story before I end that conversation with the my rant. The other day when I posted Alice Cooper's trash cassette on my channel, a guy actually took the time to say, Alice Cooper, or wait, this is so cheesy. It's Alice Cooper's Bed or Nothing. Why would you take the time to tell me this? Like, why are we even, do I know you? We don't know each other. So why are you telling me this? So anyways,
hey, thanks for the view.
It's gone back and forth. Now he's up to 8 or 9 comments. Now I'm just trolling the guy because I'm getting the views from it, right?
Perfect.
Exactly. Thanks for the views.
But I don't want to sound like that kind of guy, right? Like, so I'm trying not to come off that way. But when people say this guy is better than this guy and you exclude everything else, is it really a conversation? Or is that just a statement? That's more of a statement, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like the whole argument of the GOAT in basketball and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of the GOAT in anything. It's like
in any sport, right? Yeah, so it's hard to say who is the ultimate best of the best.
Right, because it's all subjective. So it's not a conversation. You're forming an opinion and dropping it on everybody else, throwing it up, essentially.
Yeah. And it precludes anybody that's going to come later. There's like, oh, he's the greatest that ever played. Well, what if somebody comes down the pipe later?
Right.
So, like I said, I fell victim to that, and I actually repelled all of it because of that. I was like, no, I'm not, But now I've come to appreciate them. I really do enjoy that band quite a bit. Yeah, Roger Taylor's a great drummer, man.
Oh, yeah.
Great drummer.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, rando grabs. Randomly.
That might not age well, Tim.
Probably not. I'll hear about it tomorrow.
We'll find out.
Let's see here. I guess since I went first earlier, my turn, I suppose. And let's put this up here. And let's
go clockwise.
Which
actually, we
all right.
Got it.
All right, let's see here. Random. Let's pull the box over here. Random.
Oh, he hasn't picked it yet.
I haven't picked it yet. No, it's why.
I like this. I like this guy. I just can't reach that far back, so I have to do it in preparation.
So
I like this guy's moxie.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Right out of
your jib.
That's right.
Hey, so here we go. It's a good one.
You're going to be forever known as Skipper.
Oh, let's go.
Right. Talk about random.
That is random. Is that like sealed or is it just slid on the side?
Oh, it's slid. It's slid on the side.
Nice.
Yeah. But
I always appreciated that. When I was going through a used record bin and the previous owner took care of the record. I like that. Hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to see which one I recognized on here, but I really liked the Judds back in the day. Like they were good. Like as much turmoil and whatever that they had going on, but man, they sound great together.
And there's a lot to unpack on that cover. A lot to unpack on that cover.
There's most certainly is. There most certainly is. It says a lot, doesn't it?
A picture is worth 1,000 words, and most of them are one word repeated over and over.
Well said.
Well, there's that. Let's see if I can get.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to turn it around. That's just too much. So let's see here.
With the plastic still on it.
Turn it around and see here. It's a one-man woman there. So on side A, we got songs called "One Man Woman," "Young Love," "Not My Baby," and "Let Me Tell You About Love." I think that's one I might recognize. And "Sleepless Nights" and "Water of Love." That one sounds familiar too. "River of Time," "Cadillac Red," and "Guardian Angel."
There's a theme here.
Yes.
Just a little.
Involves love, rivers, and angels.
Yeah, see, here we go.
Look at this guy. He's pulling out the chipper and nipper again. Well done, sir.
Right, random. Somebody liked it so much they put the Judds on it. River Pine.
Oh, you
Just
know why
in
that
case.
was?
You never know.
Yeah, you know what? That was probably a DJ thing, and they had it out of the jackets and just had it in a bin when they were flipping through.
Ah, yes.
That makes sense. Oh,
Curb
hello,
Records. I love it. That's cool.
There we go. A little focus.
yeah. Look at the dog. That dog is inquisitive.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
he
almost
is.
got that tattoo, and I didn't. I stopped. I don't know why, but I still might.
Well, there's
There's
so many
always time.
tattoos that I almost got. There's a lot that I'm glad I didn't.
There's some that I have that I probably shouldn't have. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there we go. There's my rando grab of the week.
Nice. Well
That's
done.
a cool pick.
I like it. I like the Judds back in the day. That
I think everybody did.
down in the
even
coal
though-
mine, whatever that song was called. I forget. Going on down. But anyways. All right. Who is next? I'm sorry. I forgot.
Tim's solo hours, followed by Maiden's completely going the other way here.
There we go.
Completely going. I'm going the other way. Like I'm probably in a whole nother country at this point with this pick, but my random pick is this one. The MC5 back in the USA.
Oh, nice.
Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, the MC5 stands for the Motor City 5. They were from Detroit. Wayne Kramer was the lead singer. He was African American, and he was deeply, deeply bothered by what was going on in Detroit during the 1968 riots and stuff. And actually, their first record was called Kick Out the Jams. It was actually a live record that was recorded over 2 nights at the Ballroom, Detroit. This is their second record, but their first studio album. So,
ooh, nice.
The track, I'll show you the back here. It's a really nice record. This is not the original. This is a reissue on Sundays, which was like Roadrunner back in the day when we first started to reissue vinyl. I'll give you the track listing, but the first track on this is a cover from Little Richard called Tutti Frutti.
I was going to say.
Yeah. And then followed by a bunch of other really cool songs like Tonight, Teenage Lust, Let Me Try, and Looking at You to round off the first side. I'll show you guys the record in a moment. Side 2 was High School, Call Me Animal, The American Ruse, Shakin' Street, which is a great song, The Human Being Lawnmower, which is a critique of the Vietnam War, and Back in the USA, which is the title of this, and which is a Chuck Berry covers to bookend this record here. They were very influential in the early days of rock and punk rock, especially very raw, very true sound. This is on 180 gram vinyl. It's the Sundazed, but it is actually a reissue of the Atlantic tricolor label, green, white, and orange. So
nice.
The early Atlantic records from the 70s had Atlantic where it says Sundazed. This is it. I got this from a buddy who was selling off his record collection because he had fallen on hard times. So he promised me that I would give this a good home. And if I ever did sell it, that I would give him the opportunity to rebuy it. Because, again, it's an early reissue of this album, and these are getting hard to find.
Yeah, that one ain't going anywhere, though.
No, she's staying right where she's to, buddy.
Right.
And here's one of these, again, these MoFi sleeves. I still don't know why I put it in the paper. Just guess habit. But yeah, back in the USA from the MC5.
That's awesome.
If you know, you know. Yes. And Wayne Kramer is the guy with the big fuzzy fro in the middle.
That's a glorious throw.
It is. And here, this is my homage to Wayne Kramer.
License and registration, please, sir.
Right. Meow. Super Troopers.
Oh,
yeah,
beat me
that
to
was
it.
awesome. Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
want to hear it. I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
I know, I love that. But there we go, fellas. That was my second random pick. I'm glad it was random picked because this may have been a punk rock selection as well, because they were pretty deep into the early punk rock scene of the late 60s, early 70s. Again, 70s punk rock didn't break to 78, 77 in America. But these guys were really early pioneers of that sound. They're just so raw, and it's so emotional and raw, and you can tell this is legit. It's like the early rap from the 80s, like Run DMC, Grandmaster Flex, all those guys. You could feel that raw energy. They're trying to tell you something. There's something to be heard if you're really listening. And this is one of these albums.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm glad I got to pick that one. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, guys. Love it.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Thank you.
And I couldn't find Kick Out the Jams, else that would have been it.
All right, Zach, let's see here. What do you got?
Well, this is my random but not really pick. Let's just say 2025 has begun with a bang. We've lost a lot of very, very special people to us in so many ways. And my pick is just another one we lost. This is the Lost Highway soundtrack in honor of David Lynch, who passed away last week as well. This was one fantastic movie. Lost Highway was. We got the back. There's good old Bill Pullman, Patricia
That's
Arquette.
A great flick. That was the first flick that got me into him, actually.
I was going to say I've talked to a lot of people about it, and Lost Highway was one of the things that got them into David Lynch. And this one, it's a double album. I'll just pull one out. Just really, and it's produced by Pittsburgh native good old Trent Reznor there.
Nice. Love it.
He produced the album. David Lynch was part of it as well. And I drove when I was out, and actually this record here came from a very special lady friend of mine who is out in LA now. When I went out to visit her, we actually drove by the Lost Highway house, which was owned by David Lynch.
Wow.
Very
the house.
Cool.
Yeah, that was his house. And she was a
freaking awesome.
Big David Lynch fan, and she bought that for herself and bought me one as well a couple years ago.
Dude.
So
that's fake, dude.
And that's one because the first David Lynch thing I ever saw was Eraserhead, and I was like, man, this is kind of weird. I like this guy, and then same lady friend introduced me to Twin Peaks, and it's been David Lynch from there.
Well,
plus, I was gonna say, plus I just love soundtracks. I love soundtracks. They're the best.
Right?
Eraserhead and then Lost Highway for me. Both of those were huge pieces of my life. I watched that movie probably 500-600 times. I love that movie so much.
It's so good. I'm actually going to be watching it after we're done filming this.
Good choice.
Because
I love it.
Because why not?
Right? Why not? Oh, nice. That's a good one. I like it. I'll have to rewatch that movie. It's been a while.
Oh, and that's the thing. It's been so long since I've seen it, but still
relevant. Still kicks.
Oh yeah, and that's and it just kind of saddens me just because his career slowed down so much in the later years. There's so many people walking around this planet today that have no idea who he is or was.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of guys like that, man. Like, there's very few people that even talk about Stanley Kubrick anymore. Another one of these genius director guys, But
that's what it is. They're all so weird, which is why they were so good. Like Kubrick, weird dude. David Lynch, weird dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You know what's interesting though? We did lose a close friend here on the weekend, right? And she's originally from Detroit. And how's that for random?
Actually, I didn't even think of that.
It just dawned on me now. So there you go. Oh, wow,
there you go, Lisa.
That just sets it up right there, man. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
And again, Tim, thanks for the opportunity to come and hang out and talk about vinyl for a minute. And
yeah, thank you too.
Have fun with my friends.
Yeah,
always a blast.
I'm able to. glad I'm able to learn so much about this stuff. I like records. I love music, but to be able to learn more about it is fantastic. So this is fun.
Awesome. I love it.
All right.
And admit it, you guys in the chat. This is part of the reason you watch it, because you want to see Maiden break down the labels and every piece of information about it. If you're saying no, you're lying.
Right?
Don't ask me to do that because I couldn't.
Spent a lot of time looking.
Nice.
I got some fun stories from back in the day.
But now I find myself, like, as I'm looking through it, I'm paying more attention to the labels than I normally would. It's like, I wonder, that's the fun part of it, because I'm picking up new stuff.
Right? Like last week, you told me about the 6-eyed label, and then earlier I was looking through other ones, and then all of a sudden I found one that only had like the 3 eyes on it.
Yeah, there's 3 eye, and then there's the 2 eye, and then there's the one with the big eye in the middle. Now, Tim educated me last night about the PBS logo actually has a name.
It does.
That's a story for another day, right, P-Head?
P-Head.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay, in America, like the public broadcasting system in America is freaking awesome, right? Like back in the 80s, like before the internet, if you wanted documentaries, that's where you went, right? A lot of the time.
Oh.
But that logo and that sound, that sound that they always had, scared the living crap out of my kid, man. When he was like 2 or 3, he'd see that and he'd go crying. It still triggers him to this day, man. He's 18. He's like, I hate that logo. I'm like, why?
And it's ironic that was Mr. Rogers' network, basically.
Mr. Rogers, Daniel Tiger, which was the later incarnation of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, that's how my niece knows Mr. Rogers, because of Daniel Tiger.
Yeah, well, the kids, right? That was the era. But yeah, it's funny what you think of. But yeah, we're always learning something from each other, man. That's the beauty of it.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not in the right group.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and we'll wrap it up this week, and we'll catch y'all next time.
See you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Later.